Listen, I need to tell you something that might shake everything you thought you knew about God's timing. While you've been wondering when your breakthrough is coming, heaven has already been moving pieces into position. While you've been praying for provision, God has been orchestrating circumstances you can't even see yet. But here's what most believers miss. God doesn't just randomly drop blessings into your life. He prepares you first. He positions you. He gives you signs that your season is shifting before the blessing even manifests. And if you're not watching, if you're not discerning, you'll miss the signals that your financial breakthrough is right around the corner. This isn't prosperity gospel. This isn't name it and claim it theology. This is about recognizing the patterns of how God operates in the lives of His people. Throughout Scripture, from Abraham to Joseph to David, God always gave signs before He released His people into their next level of blessing. Right now, I'm going to share 7 unmistakable signs that God is positioning you for financial breakthrough. These aren't coincidences. These aren't accidents. These are divine indicators that your season of struggle is ending and your season of abundance is beginning. The first sign God is about to bless you financially is when He begins to close doors that once seemed promising. Now, I know this sounds backwards. You're thinking, how can closed doors be a sign of blessing? But listen carefully. God will shut doors to opportunities that would have taken you off His path for your life. Maybe that job you desperately wanted didn't work out. Maybe that business deal fell through at the last minute. Maybe that investment opportunity you were excited about suddenly disappeared. You felt disappointed. You felt confused. You questioned God's timing. But what you couldn't see is that God was protecting you from something that would have become a distraction from His greater plan. When God is preparing to elevate you financially, He removes options that would have kept you comfortable in a lesser place. He closes doors to good opportunities because He has great opportunities waiting. He'll shut down Plan B because Plan A is about to unfold in ways you never imagined. The second sign is when God begins to increase your capacity for stewardship in small areas. Before He trusts you with much, He tests you with little. You might notice opportunities to be faithful with money starting to appear everywhere. Maybe someone asks you to help them financially and you feel prompted to give sacrificially. Maybe you find yourself being more intentional about tithing, even when money is tight. Maybe God starts convicting you about wasteful spending habits you've ignored for years. This isn't punishment, this is preparation. God is developing your character to handle the wealth He's about to release. He's teaching you that every dollar's a tool for His kingdom, not just your comfort. He's showing you that faithfulness in little things qualifies you for big things. The third sign is when God begins to give you specific strategies and ideas for creating wealth. This isn't about get-rich-quick schemes or worldly wisdom. This is about divine inspiration for legitimate business opportunities, investment strategies, or career moves that align with your calling. You might wake up with a business idea that won't leave your mind. You might receive insight about a skill you should develop or a market you should enter. You might feel led to pursue education or training that seems unrelated to your current situation, but will position you for future opportunities. Daniel received supernatural wisdom that elevated him in Babylon's economy. Nehemiah received strategies to rebuild Jerusalem's walls and restore the city's prosperity. God gives His people insight that the world doesn't possess when He's preparing to bless them financially. Pay attention to those ideas, write them down, pray over them. God doesn't give you vision without provision. The fourth sign is when God begins to connect you with the right people at the right time. Divine connections aren't accidents. They're appointments orchestrated by heaven to position you for breakthrough. You might meet someone who becomes a mentor in business. You might encounter an investor who believes in your vision. You might cross paths with someone who offers you an opportunity you never sought. These aren't coincidences. These are God moments. But here's what's crucial. These connections often come disguised as ordinary encounters. The person sitting next to you on a plane, the neighbor you finally decided to talk to, the colleague you've been ignoring. God uses everyday interactions to create extraordinary opportunities. Stop rushing past people. Stop being too busy to notice who God is placing in your path. That random conversation might be the divine appointment that changes your financial future. The fifth sign is when God allows delay to test your faithfulness. Here's a sign most people don't want to hear, but it's critical. When God is about to bless you, He often allows a season of waiting that tests whether you'll remain faithful. You've been praying, you've been believing, you've been doing everything right, but the breakthrough still hasn't come. You're tempted to give up. You're tempted to compromise. You're tempted to take matters into your own hands. This delay isn't denial, it's development. Abraham waited 25 years for Isaac. Joseph spent 13 years between the dream and the palace. David was anointed king but spent years running from Saul before he took the throne. The waiting period separates those who want blessings from those who want God. It reveals whether you'll serve Him only when things go well or whether you'll worship Him in the wilderness. If you're in a season of delay right now, don't despise it. God is watching how you respond. Your faithfulness during the waiting qualifies you for what's coming. The longer the preparation, the greater the promotion. The sixth sign is when God gives you supernatural peace about your finances despite your circumstances. This is one of the most powerful signs, and it defies natural logic. Your bank account says one thing, but your spirit says something completely different. You should be panicking, but you're not. You should be anxious, but instead you have this unexplainable peace. You wake up, and instead of dread about bills, you feel this quiet confidence that everything is going to be okay. You look at your situation and somehow you just know God is about to move. This isn't denial. This isn't toxic positivity. This is the peace of God that surpasses all understanding, and it's often a sign that breakthrough is imminent. When you have peace in the storm, it means God is already working behind the scenes. When you're not worried about tomorrow, it means your spirit recognizes what your eyes haven't seen yet. Provision is on the way. That supernatural peace is heaven's down payment on what's about to manifest in your life. The seventh sign is when God stirs you to give sacrificially even when it doesn't make sense. This is the most powerful sign. When God prompts you to give in a way that makes no natural sense, your harvest is about to come in. You're barely making it, but you feel led to sow into someone else's need. You have bills due, but God puts it on your heart to bless someone sacrificially. You need provision yourself, but you're compelled to give to a ministry or a cause. This defies logic. This challenges your security. This requires radical faith. But watch what happens when you obey. God begins to release what has been held back. The widow of Zarephath had only enough for one final meal, but when she gave to Elijah first, her oil and flour never ran out. When God asks you to give sacrificially right before your breakthrough, He's not trying to drain you. He's positioning you to receive. He's testing whether you trust Him more than you trust your bank account. He's checking if you believe His word over your wallet. That prompting to give isn't random. It's a sign. Your obedience in that moment becomes the key that unlocks the door to your financial breakthrough. These 7 signs aren't just patterns to observe. They're invitations to partnership with heaven. But remember this: recognizing these signs is only the beginning. Your response to them determines the magnitude of what God releases. Will you trust Him when doors close? Will you be faithful with little things? Will you act on the strategies He gives? Will you value the connections He orchestrates? Will you stay faithful through the waiting? Will you rest in His peace? Will you give when it doesn't make sense? God is positioning you right now. The signs are all around you. Your season of financial breakthrough isn't just coming. It's already begun. The question isn't whether God will bless you. The question is whether you'll recognize His movement and position yourself to receive everything He has prepared. Stop waiting for someday. Start watching for the signs today. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Heaven is moving. The blessing is building. And your name is written on resources you haven't even imagined yet. If these signs resonated with your spirit, type yes in the comments. And remember, your faithfulness today determines your capacity tomorrow. God is about to do something beautiful in your finances. Get ready to receive it.